In this lesson, we'll take a quick look at the Robots.txt file and the robots meta tag. The former is a file that sits in the root directory of your website. The latter is a meta tag that can be placed into individual web pages. Both provide instructions to computer programs that are crawling through your website reading web pages, such as the search bots that download pages for their search indexes. The major search engines and most reputable smaller search engines read these things and follow the instructions. Pretty much every site needs a Robots.txt file. The meta tag may be needed in some cases, but probably not often. Let's start with the Robots.txt file. There are really two things we're going to use this for. We can use it to block areas of the website that we don't want to have indexed, and we can also provide a pointer to our XML sitemap. This is a text file, of course, and is placed into the top of your site, the root directory. Here's an example, CNN.com's Robot.txt file, which is providing links to various sitemaps, blocking certain areas, and then specifically allowing access to a subdirectory of one directory that was blocked. Firstly, blocking areas of the site. If you have areas of your site that you don't want indexed by the search engines, you can include an instruction like these two lines. First, a user agent line that in this case effectively says this instruction applies to all robots, all programs downloading pages from my site. And then a disallow line saying which parts of the site should not be downloaded. In this case, an area of the site called private. You can also provide instructions to particular bots like this. In this case, of course, the search bot named Googlebot is being told not to download from the private directory. You can find a list of robots here, though of course few people really need to specify instructions for particular bots. You'll notice that if you screw something up in your Robots.txt file, you can really hurt your site. This instruction blocks all robots from all areas of your website. You'll be dropped from the search indexes if you use this, so you'll want to be careful. Luckily, there are Robots.txt testers, little utilities that will test your Robots.txt file and tell you what the file will do. In particular, there's Google's test tool, which you can find in the Google Webmaster account, or what Google's more recently started calling the Search Console, a subject you'll learn about later in this course. Another thing to consider, the Robots.txt really provides requests to the bots. There's nothing that forces them to comply. So if you have areas of your site that are really important to protect, Robots.txt is not the way to do it. And one more blocking issue. These days, search engines, in particular Google, may read your JavaScript and CSS files. So although many developers used to use Robots.txt to block the directories holding those files, it's probably not a good idea to block the search engines from such information these days. Now, the XML sitemap reference. I'll be telling you more about the XML sitemap in a later lesson, so I won't go into a detailed explanation. I'll just tell you that the Robots.txt file should contain this line, telling search engines where they can find your XML sitemap. Most websites need an XML sitemap, so most websites need a Robots.txt file, if only for this reference. Right, time to look at the robots meta tag. The robots meta tag allows you to provide instructions related to a particular web page. The tag, which is placed in the head area of your web page, is rarely very useful, so we'll just take a quick look. Here's an example. The instructions appear in the content attribute, of course. There are a few different instructions you can use. Really, only the last two are of any use, telling the search engines to not index the page and to not follow links on the page. The first two are the default settings. If a search engine finds a page with no robots meta tag, it will assume it's allowed to index it and follow the links, so you don't need to provide these instructions. Most people really won't need to worry much about the Robots.txt file and the meta tags beyond using the file to specify the sitemap location. But we'll come back to that issue in a later lesson.